Hi, and welcome to episode 4 of our Sabbat series. And in this episode, we are talking about Litha.
Yes, it's right around the corner.
It is very right around the corner. We are super excited to talk to you guys about Litha, but we realized we don't remember if we're introducing ourselves. So I am Ren.
And I am River.
And we have a podcast, a witchy podcast called C3 Crystals, Cauldrons, and Cocktails. And this is our little Sabbath series that we're doing once and done.
Hmm.
You can come back to these every year and listen to all of the information. It'll all stay up to date. And if there's anything that we see has changed or gets updated within the next couple of years, we'll maybe refresh the episodes every now and then.
Hmm.
But right now, what is Litha?
Yes,
So, Litha is also known as the summer solstice. It is a magical time of year celebrated by witches and pagans all around the world.
for sure.
So, it marks the longest day and the shortest night, symbolizing the peak of the sun's power. Now, my question, I didn't research any of this because it just popped into my head.
Hmm.
Um, but So we here are celebrating Litha as the longest day and the shortest night, but
Hmm.
we are in the northern hemisphere. Does it matter in the southern hemisphere
Yeah,
as well?
in the southern hemisphere, it is the longest night and shortest day.
Okay, but are they still celebrating Litha?
No, I
It
think
would
they
be
they
the
do the one on the opposite side of the wheel, which I
oh,
am not looking at the wheel right now. Um, so it's
would
not,
that be it's not Lammas. It would be
no, it's oh gosh.
pull up the wheel real quick.
Let me pull up the wheel.
We each have magnets that go on our fridge to tell it like of the wheel.
Mine's upstairs. Pagan Wheel of the
Yeah,
Year.
because I was just thinking about it just like now, just, because I was like, it's our longest day and shortest night, but it's not their longest day and shortest night. So they would be
Hmm.
celebrating
Let's
what?
see. The winter solstice, right? Uh,
Mhm.
wait, it's not giving me a picture. I just wanted a picture.
Anyways, it's
Okay, I
fine.
have a picture now. Hold on. It is Yule. Yeah. So
Yule,
are
okay.
they celebrating Yule?
So would I mean, maybe,
Because I
maybe.
associate Yule with Christmas, but then because I'm always up
I mean,
here in the northern hemisphere,
hmm.
we'll have to ask our friends from Australia.
No,
They're going to be
because
going, "What is wrong
they're
with
gonna be
you?"
like, duh.
I
Yeah, it's
know.
very obvious. But it's not something I really think about on a day-to-day basis. And I do remember like on social media seeing like pictures of Christmas trees during the summer because they celebrate like Christmas or whatever
Yeah,
holiday in that season, like December wise, in
is
the heat
summer.
because
Yeah.
they're hot and
Hmm.
when we're cold. So I never thought about if
Yeah.
the
Well,
holidays
because
also went flip-flop.
yeah, for sure. That's interesting. We'll have to, hopefully some
Start
of our
researching
people,
or
yeah,
let us
we've
know and
got
be like, you guys are
listeners
dumb.
from Australia and they're going to say, "Oh, good Lord, River and Wren, do you not know anything?"
No, we don't. And
We
yet we have a
don't.
podcast.
That's why we started the podcast so we could
Uh-huh.
learn all this
So we
stuff
could
and
learn some. So we always
together.
have questions that pop up and then we try to educate ourselves and research afterwards.
Hmm.
But while we're talking about our dumb questions, you guys are face palming going, oh my God, these idiots. Um, but this Sabbath is a celebration of abundance, light, and the fiery energy of the sun.
Yes.
And so there are a couple of correspondences that we both wanted to talk about. So colors are a very big thing. And so the colors of
Hmm.
Litha reflect the brightness and the energy of the summer sun. So number one would be gold, which makes a lot of sense. And
Hmm.
this symbolizes the sun's power, prosperity, and success. You have yellow, which I feel like, I don't know. There are people who could probably argue this with me. I feel like gold and yellow are very similar in
Hmm.
ways to me.
Yeah, I
So I
feel
feel like
like
they could represent, like, if you don't have something that's gold, but you have something that's yellow, I feel like they could probably both mean the same things.
close anyway, for sure.
Hmm.
I feel like yellow's more joyful as opposed to gold, which is more like
Money?
royalty or something. Yeah, like money, like gold. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I intertwine both gold and yellow.
Okay.
So yellow represents what you were saying, representing joy,
Oh,
vitality, and mental clarity. And then you have orange, which orange is also in there. They're all the warm tones that I kind
mm-hmm,
of categorize together a little bit because they all go together in my
mm-hmm.
mind. So in my practice, I would probably somehow intertwine those.
Okay,
But if you want to keep them separate, orange signifies creativity, enthusiasm, and energy. And then if we're
okay.
talking about the sun has all of those colors in it.
True. That's very true.
So on that type of level as well, they all are kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have green, which is associated with growth, fertility, and the flourishing. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's a word, flourishing of nature. And then you have red, which red is also a color that could be
Red.
in the sun.
I didn't think about red as
Where,
being a
yeah,
Litha color. Okay.
and th in this case, it always seems to represent passion, but with the longest day and shortest night, it can also kind of symbolize strength and courage during this time.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. And then you have blue, which I didn't think about blue because when I think of, well,
I
I don't
do because
know.
it's like the beach and the summer goes with the beach in my
I
mind.
guess, but it my mind doesn't go there. With when I think of Litha, I think of like a field of beautiful flowers on a sunny day type of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Mm-hmm.
this beautiful field of grass and pinks and, yellow flowers and daisies and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. So blue isn't really there other than like probably the sky color, the color of
Yeah.
the sky. And
To me,
so,
it's the ocean and the pool and all of that.
yeah, to me, that just doesn't even pop in my head,
Hmm.
and which is interesting. So blue represents water, the cooling energy and tranquility,
Huh.
which I think it does go well, but that's not like an initial color that I would have been like, oh yeah, Letha is represented by
By
blue.
blue. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just in my practice and how I think that's probably, I don't know, blue, not blue would be on the
Blue.
bottom of the color chain of what I would want to work with.
But these are all great
Oh,
colors to
absolutely.
work into your altar or to, work with your correspondences for spell casting, that kind
Hmm.
of thing.
Hmm.
There are a bunch of herbs and plants also associated with Letha,
Yes.
and these also embody the lushness and the vitality of summer. So you've got St. John's wort, which is used for protection,
Hmm.
healing,
Hmm.
and warding off negativity.
We've talked about that one before.
Hmm. Lavender, which promotes peace, relaxation, and purification.
My lavender's still dead.
Oh,
Well, it's not dead now. It's half alive.
mine's half dead. Half of
Yeah.
it is like
See,
crusty.
look at this. You can see I said half alive and you said half dead. Look at like it's like the different polar opposites of like the half is glass full, half empty type
Yes,
of vibe.
that's so funny because Will, when he gave us our treats that he sent us, he was
Uh-huh.
like, "Yeah, River's the darker one, and
Uh-huh.
Ren is the lighter one." And I think that just summed that up, didn't
Yep.
it?
Yep, it did.
Um, Rosemary, which enhances memory, so obviously I should be eating a whole lot of
Yeah, you
rosemary.
should.
I don't like it though. Clarity and protection. Chamomile, which brings calm, healing, and abundance. Thyme, which you use for courage, purification, and attracting good health. And
Hmm.
then sunflowers, which I know you're a big fan of sunflowers.
I love a good sunflower.
They symbolize the sun, positivity, and spiritual growth. And so these are things that you might want to cook with during Litha or put on your altar during Litha to bring these kind of vibes to your Litha celebration.
Hmm.
There's also crystals and stones. So citrine, which is really one of the first ones I do think of for Letha because it's that yellow, gold, orange color.
Yep. Hmm.
It brings joy, prosperity, and clarity.
Hmm.
The sunstone
That makes
enhances,
sense. Yeah.
yes, it does, personal power, freedom, and leadership. Carnelian boosts courage, motivation, and creative energy.
Hmm.
Clear quartz, which I feel like clear quartz is great for anything because it
Oh yeah.
amplifies any energy that you're going for, but
Hmm.
it can also amplify your intentions and your spiritual growth. And then amber connects to ancient wisdom, protection, and healing. And the tiger's eye, which is, I just love that stone. It's very pretty. It
Hmm.
provides grounding, protection, and confidence. So you might want to scatter those on your altar during your Litha celebration.
Yeah, tiger's eye is my favorite.
Really,
I just
I
love the
love it.
colors and everything, and it does embody, after talking about the colors and what colors are associated with Letha, it does embody the colors of Letha a lot.
Hmm. To me, it's like the brown of the soil and the gold of the sun, all in one, and the tiger's eye. I
Hmm.
like to use it in my jewelry making. It's a very
Oh,
pretty
it's beautiful.
stone for
Hmm.
jewelry making.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So now I wanted to talk a little bit about deities
Hmm.
because when you're thinking of a Sabbath, there's a lot of things that go into, preparing for the celebration. And maybe one of those things is preparing and getting help from your deities.
Hmm.
And so there are many deities that are honored during Litha as well, particularly those associated with the sun, light, and fertility.
Makes sense.
So the first one I wanted to talk about was Apollo. So they are a Greek god of the sun, music, and prophecy. So this would be a good one to kind of incorporate in your practice or to honor if you're going for, if you want a little bit more music,
Hmm.
prophecy, like if you wanted to know what's going to happen later on, anything like that.
Yeah.
And then you have the Egyptian god Ra, where he is
Oh,
the
your
the
favorite.
sun god, and I do love a good Egyptian twist. I really
Hmm.
do. And then he also symbolizes life, warmth, and growth.
Okay.
So if you want to incorporate anything about that into your practice, I feel like everybody could have a little bit of warmth and growth. So maybe incorporating something or honoring them in somehow to provide that would be nice.
Hmm.
See, I don't really work with deities as much.
Yeah,
I would
same.
like to, but I have anxiety. I'm
Well, and
just a little nervous.
you got to find who you connect with too, or what vibe that you
Yeah.
connect.
Yeah, and I guess I haven't really fully 100% connected with one of them. Like I love Egyptian
Hmm.
like mythology and
Hmm.
history, and I know all about it, but I don't know if I technically want it incorporated in my practice.
Right.
Which is
Yeah.
completely fine. Like you can have a deep fascination, but not want to incorporate it. You don't have to have, there's no pressure. You don't
That's
do what
right.
you want.
Do what you want.
Um, and then you have Helios, which is the Greek titan of the sun,
Hmm.
driving the chariot of the sun across the sun.
Hmm.
No, the sun
Across the
across the sun.
sky.
Wow. Across
An
the
herb is an
sky.
herb.
An herb is an herb, and he drives the chariot across the, yeah, anyways. And then you have the Japanese sun goddess that embodies light and beauty, and they're called, I'm gonna need your help. Help.
Amaterasu.
You did better than me.
I have no idea.
I always slaughter the pronunciations, but
Yeah,
everybody,
same.
it's fine. It's fine. I'm trying my
They
best.
they've come to expect it.
Yes,
It's
I'm trying my
part of
best.
our
I mean,
charm.
no disrespect. I'm trying my best.
Okay.
And then you have the Celtic god of light, craftsmanship, and skill called Lu,
Hmm. Which another name
Lugh.
for I was gonna say there's another name for llamas, but we're doing Letha, so
Hmm.
I don't know, but Luga's something.
You're
Anyway,
uh you're getting ahead of
I
time,
am
aren't you?
wrong month. Yes.
Wrong holiday. And then you have, and I hope I pronounced this correct as well, Ain, Ain,
Hmm.
is an Irish
It's
goddess of
Irish, so yeah.
summon. Wow. Summer, I'm really having a hard time. Summer, love, and sovereignty. And
Hmm.
it's spelled Aine.
Yeah, and the Irish have such fun ways to pronounce things. I love Gaelic and all of that, so I
Hmm.
don't know how
Hmm.
you actually
Yeah,
say
so
that
I
word.
could also be very mispronouncing it, henceforth why I provide spelling. Um, and then there are symbols that are associated with Litha as well. So we have the sun wheels representing
Hmm.
the sun's journey and the cycle of the year. Fire, which obviously,
Hmm.
so it fire can symbolize the sun's energy, transformation, purification, which I find very fascinating that purification and fire kind of go together. It makes sense.
It does to me too.
It makes sense. But when you think about the burning of witches, then it's like, are you there?
That's
What was their point?
true.
Their point was trying to purify, I don't know, the soul or something.
Well, my husband is like bright red because he got sunburned over the weekend.
Oh
So
yeah.
he's definitely celebrating. He could be my symbol of Letha because he is
Your
like
fire
my
symbol for
fire
this
symbol.
this and then you have oak leaves and acorns
Hmm.
representing strength, endurance, and longevity. I would love to make a little altar of like oak leaves and acorns. That would be
Acorns.
really,
Hmm.
really cute. And then honey and bees,
Hmm.
signifying sweetness, productivity, and community.
Hmm.
And then you have the my favorite, which is sunflowers,
Hmm.
which embody solar energy, positivity, and growth. I love sunflowers so much. I have a
Yeah.
tattoo of a sunflower.
And
They're my
I
favorite.
know I love your tattoo.
Hmm.
That it's so cool that sunflowers are not only considered a flower or herb of Letha, but also an actual symbol of Letha. And if
Hmm.
you go to our website, the C3 Witchy Podcast website, we have merch, and I designed the Letha shirt this time, and it's got half of a sunflower on
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, they're really cool designs. Way to plug our merch right now.
I know, I know.
They're really cool designs. They are, we do have two that are Sabbat related. And so you designed the Litha one and I designed a Lammas, because
Hmm.
that is the next Sabbat after. And so you can go check those out. I don't know if you listen to this a year from when we post it,
That's true.
they're not going to be active anymore.
Well, we'll
Um,
probably have a different design every Sabbath
every
every
Sabbath
year.
we will.
Hmm.
And then some foods. Of course, I had to talk about food because I am the foodie.
Hmm.
So during this time, you might want to incorporate fresh fruits, especially berries, strawberries, and citrus fruits, because they symbolize abundance and sweetness.
Hmm.
You can do grilled vegetables like corn. Corn is one of my favorite things on like if you
Hmm.
do a whole corn on the cob on the grill or just
Mm.
corn in general, it's really
Charred
good.
corn. Oh my
Cream
goodness.
corn is amazing.
Mm.
Any form. You can do zucchini, bell peppers, and these represent the harvest.
Okay.
And then you have honey. So you can use these in various dishes in forms it symbolizes that sweetness. But honey is very diverse. You can use it in your teas, you can use it in actual dishes, and I
You
just
can drink it in the form of mead.
you can. It's very universal. You can do anything with honey, and I love it.
I do love
My
honey.
dog's name is Honey. It's great.
Oh, that's right.
Hmm. And so you can also do herb infused drinks, like again, teas, but also lemonades flavored
Mm.
with summer herbs like mint and basil. It's
Hmm.
what am I trying to say? Um wow, my brain isn't working. The some opportunities are endless, but that's not the exact phrasing that I was going for. But
Well,
you,
that works.
yeah, duh. Okay. And then last, you can do some baked goods. So, I mean, we all love a good baked bread,
Hmm.
cakes,
Hmm.
pies, and especially if you incorporate seasonal fruits into these things or honey,
Oh yeah.
so my favorite thing that I'm thinking of right now is like a lemon cake, but you do maybe blueberries or raspberries in it, and then maybe drizzle
Mm.
it with honey or like a
I like
honey sweetened lemon glaze or something.
biscuits with honey is really yummy.
Oh yeah, and honey butter. Honey butter is so
Oh
good.
yeah. Mm.
There's so many food options, but I feel like these are the most like fresh ways And like easiest ways to incorporate foods into Litha. Let's say you're on the go and you don't have much time
Mm-hmm.
and you just need you want to you want to celebrate somehow. So grab some fresh fruit, like a little fruit cup or
Yeah.
something. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you have access to a grill, it definitely doesn't have to be grilled veggies if you don't have access to a grill.
Right.
Just, throw in some bell peppers or some corn or zucchini or
Mm,
something like that and just eat on the side or something like that. It doesn't have to be anything fancy if you can't do that. That would absolutely be fine.
that's true. So now that we've talked about the things that correspond to Letha, how do we celebrate it?
Yes.
So altars, of course, is a great way to celebrate the Sabbath. You might want to use your sun symbols, the colors you talked about, the herbs that I talked about. You could put yellow candles, sun-shaped ornaments, anything that represents the sun. Sunflowers themselves you could put on your altar. And you can include fresh flowers like the daisies, the sunflowers, the mints, the crystals that we talked about earlier. So, and
Mm-hmm.
then like I don't know if other people do this, but I like to use altar cloths, and you can change out your altar cloth
Mm-hmm.
for the color. You can make it blue to represent the water, like you were talking about, or yellow or gold.
Yeah, I really like candles a lot, like
Me
the different
too.
colored candles. So if I can at that time, like maybe I can't financially just go and randomly buy candles. Like I know a lot of
Hmm.
people can't physically do that.
Hmm.
So what I like to do is if you have little baby candles, like birthday candles or whatever, I'll
Hmm.
melt them and take a little like toothpick or something and do like little designs on the outside of my white candles.
Oh, that's a great
And then
idea.
depending on if they melt away, like if I melt it and it melts the design
Hmm.
away, but sometimes usually it doesn't, they're the big spire ones that I
Yeah.
have and I use them for everything and they last forever. You can easily just wipe away, like etch away your design so you don't have to get new candles every time or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's all personalized. You can do sigils in whatever
I
color. You
love
can
that
do,
idea.
I think this season. I'm probably going to take a little bit of like orange and yellow and do some like little flower designs all over my stuff for
Well,
my
and
altar.
melted wax art is fun to do. If you
Hmm.
take the wax and while it's still hot, you can design it into a flower. You can make
Yep.
a
Hmm.
flower out of melted yellow and gold flower wax, which is fun to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
But really, Letha, at this time of year being the longest day, you probably want to spend a lot of time celebrating outside. It's a great time to
Yes.
celebrate outside.
But it's
Although
so
it does
hot.
get hot here. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But you want to explore the nature connection, celebrate
Hmm.
Letha to fully immerse yourself in that sun's energy. Go sunbathing if you want
Hmm.
to.
Hmm.
Go to a garden or a park or a forest. And,
Hmm.
those are all beautiful outdoor things that you can do. If you go to a pool, then you're outdoors and able to cool off. So,
Hmm.
that's
And if
something.
you are one that has more of like the water side in your Letha than the pool or lake or
Hmm.
ocean, wherever you're
Or the
at, is
beach.
also
Yeah.
one of
Hmm.
those things that you can incorporate water wise, blue wise, etc.
Hmm. Hmm. And then a bonfire. If you have a safe spot that you can do bonfire, that's a
Hmm.
traditional and really powerful way to honor the sun
Hmm.
because fire represents the sun energy and provides a focal point to your celebrations. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah.
you have friends come over and you have a fire, people just gravitate and sit around the fire to chat and talk and that kind of thing. So having a fire is a great way to celebrate.
Hmm.
This
Hmm.
is also another time when the veil is said to be really thin. So that makes it easier to connect with fairies or other nature spirits. So leave offerings like milk, honey, shiny objects, place them out in your garden or on outdoor deck or patio, or natural spaces, and to do that to honor and appease the fae at this time
Hmm.
of year.
Hmm. I agree. I remember when we were first talking about this, probably, I think it was off the podcast and I think we probably talked about it on the podcast too, but I was like, I think it's so cool that the veil is thin in
Mm-hmm.
multiple points during the
Mm-hmm.
holidays. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like I don't know. In my mind, there's like a deep connection that we have between all the other worlds at
Mm-hmm.
these times. And it's no wonder that we used to celebrate and have these, really fun, I guess, celebrations. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just really like it. It's so cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Samhain is always my favorite, but I really
Mine
love
too.
this
Mine
one as
too.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we know sort of, you know, celebrating and maybe where to celebrate and what you can do, let's talk about some rituals and activities.
Okay.
So you can do a sunrise meditation, which I do meditations on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
I should say I used to because I haven't done one in a while. I am so sorry. But you can do sunrise meditations where you begin the day by watching the sunrise. And as the sun rises, meditate on the light entering your life and reflect the goals you've achieved and those you will aspire to reach, which
Mm-hmm.
I really like this. And
Mm-hmm.
I love a good meditation because it's just a way for you to slow down from the busy hustle and bustle of every day because it's hard to do that. And
And
I
what a
feel
great
like,
way to start the longest day of the year,
yes.
you know?
Yet these days and these Sabbats and these celebrations, I don't want you guys to be like, oh, I have to do all of this stuff and I don't have enough time to put it all together, et cetera, et
Mm-hmm.
cetera.
Mm-hmm.
You can just literally just meditate and take your time. You don't have to be all go, go, go and all rush, rush, rush.
Yeah, it could be as simple as just taking a moment to appreciate the sun, you know,
Mm-hmm.
as you go
Mm-hmm.
off to work or you go and do
Mm-hmm.
your things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
just
doesn't have to be anything big. You don't have to
mm-hmm.
set like 10 hours aside to do something like this
Mm-hmm.
it's a meditation doesn't also have to be like like you have
Yeah,
to sit there
mm-hmm.
for 2 hours and meditate. It can be something as quick as 5 minutes in your day just so you can get a little bit of a refresh. And I feel like as the sun rises, that would be the best time.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then you can do solar spells.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So one solar spell you could do is a prosperity spell where you create a prosperity pouch using herbs like basil and cinnamon and sun-colored crystals.
Mm-hmm.
You charge it under the sun to attract abundance.
I like that idea.
And then you have a protection spell where you light a yellow or gold candle and visualize the sun's rays creating a protective shield around you and your home.
Oh, I like that idea too.
hmm Like I feel like I mean, we talk a lot about this, but on our normal episodes, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have to always be, oh, I have to take 2 hours and do this whole entire ritual to do a spell.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something as simple as lighting a candle, visualizing, this protective shield around your home. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
let the candle burn all the way down, or as you blow it out, you ensure that it stays
Mm-hmm.
protective.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be anything long but it can
And
be as well.
complicated. It's
hmm
true. It could be if you want
hmm
to. I mean,
hmm
those are fun too. But
Yes,
sometimes, like you
absolutely.
said, we just don't have time for
We just
that.
don't have time. Yeah. And then this one's probably one of my favorites. So a flower crown crafting. Love these things. So
Yes.
you can craft a flower crown using seasonal flowers and herbs and wear it during your Litha celebrations to embody, the spirit of nature and goodness and the goddess and
Mm-hmm.
whatever you are celebrating on that day.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely, I don't know. I think a flower crown is used for every occasion.
I know, right? I know. I love it.
You can also brew sun tea. So, you can brew sun tea by placing a jar of water with tea bags, whatever tea you want, and
Mm-hmm.
fresh herbs like mint, chamomile in the sunlight. And then you let the sun's energy infuse the tea, and then you enjoy it during your ritual or feast, which I
I love
love this
that.
idea.
Yeah, I do
sun
too.
tea. Because,
I love
I mean,
that.
you can also do moon tea as well. I love a good moon tea.
I love that too.
Mhm. And then you can also leave offerings, like how you were saying, to the Fae, but you can also leave offerings of bread, fruit, or flowers in a natural spot as a token of gratitude to the earth's abundance. So instead of just to the Fae, you leave
Mm-hmm.
it to whatever it is, maybe that maybe a deity, maybe just nature in general, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you're wanting to have gratitude for. And
Mm-hmm.
then ensure the offerings are biodegradable and won't harm wildlife in any way or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. Or if they, let's say you want to leave, I'm trying to think of something that's not biodegradable. Let's say a little ceramic bowl. You
Mm-hmm.
can leave it for the day as a gratitude and thanks for abundance and all of that. And you can
Mm-hmm.
go back the next day and grab it.
That's a great idea.
hmm
I like that.
And then you can also always journal. You
Journal.
can
Oh, we
take
need
some
a Letha
time. Yeah, we need a
journal.
Litha journal now. Now you can take some time to write in your journal, gratitude, anything like that.
Oh, I like
Reflect
that.
on the blessings in your life and express your thanks for the abundance and light that surrounds you.
I like that.
And then I think this is probably one of your favorites. You can
Mm-hmm.
use divination. So you can use tarot cards, runes, and other forms of divination to gain insight into the coming months. The heightened energy of Letha can help provide powerful guidance.
Yes, I've been using my deck of tarot cards that Will gave me. I
Mm-hmm.
loved them.
Mm-hmm.
They are just lovely, and they seem to love me too. They're
Oh,
very
that's good. That's very good.
informative, not informative, supportive. They're very
Supportive.
supportive of me. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, some of my cards are like, get your shit together, woman. This deck of cards is more, I mean, it says that, but in a nicer
In a
way.
better way. Instead of being more blunt, it's more like, oh, well, maybe we could do this today.
Because I've got one deck that's like, I'm like, oh, how can I make this day better? And it's like, get your shit together. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I like your idea of hosting a feast. That
I
that
love
I
a good
think
feast.
is a great idea. And
hmm
if you have enough time ahead of time, which we're a little late in getting this
So
episode
sorry.
out, but if you've got time, you can plan a feast for family, friends, whoever. So you
hmm
want to set your date and time. Litha is traditionally celebrated on or around June 21st, which is the day of the actual summer solstice.
hmm
But you can choose a date close to the solstice if people can't be there on that, like if it's on a Wednesday or whatever. What is it this year? 2024 June.
I'm not
It's
sure.
a Friday this year.
Okay.
So, that might work. But choose a date close to the solstice. You might celebrate on Saturday since, people sometimes have to work on Fridays. But you come up with a plan for your feast. You could have it in the late afternoon or early evening because it's the longest day. So
hmm
it'll stay light later. And
hmm
you can send out witchy themed invitations to your guests. I love that idea. You can design them yourself on like Canva or something like that, with sun or nature motifs, or you can probably find just Google templates and come up with
Oh, yeah.
invitations for
hmm
that.
hmm
And then in your invitation, you want to make sure you let them know if there's going to be any special attire. There was one party that, well, this was way back in the day that it was in college that we had a toga party for the solstice. So, if you want to do that, or if you want people to bring their own flower crowns, like you were talking about,
hmm
or if it's going to be a pool party, then tell them, bring a bathing suit, that kind of thing. So plan your menu. You can focus on the things that Ren was talking about in her food ideas: seasonal, fresh, vibrant ingredients, fruits, vegetables, herbs, and flowers that are all abundant during this time. You might want to consider dishes that are really nice to eat outside, like salads or grilled things, grilled vegetables,
hmm
fruit platters,
hmm
light desserts, because it's too hot to want to have all this heavy, rich food.
Yeah.
You'll be
Yeah.
sweating, and that is
hmm
not comfortable.
Mm-mm.
Prepare your space. You can decorate with summer solstice symbols. You can use the sunflowers, the daisies as centerpieces. You can use a golden tablecloth, white plates that will gleam really prettily against this gold tablecloth.
Prettily?
Prettily, is that not a word?
Prettily? I don't know. I don't
Apparently,
think
that's not a
so.
word. I made up a word. Okay. You can decorate with leaves and branches and stones on your table. Set it up outside if you've got an area to do that, or on your deck, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of do want to host it outside to embrace the day and the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have space, then maybe you can go to a local park
Mm-hmm.
and do that there.
That would
But
be fun.
if you have to be inside, which some of us do have to do that, then use a space that has plenty of natural light. Go ahead and open all your curtains and that kind of thing to let as
Mm-hmm.
much of the
Mm-hmm.
daylight come in. So some ideas for food,
Oh.
appetizers. My mouth is watering. You might do herb infused dips like hummus, fresh herb infused butters, that kind of
Ooh,
thing.
ooh, like a tzatziki sauce would be
Yes.
amazing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My mouth is just watering. You can have artisan bread to put the herbal butters on,
Yes.
fruit platters, of course, vibrant summer fruits like strawberries and watermelons and cherries would be really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Main courses, you could grill stuff because that way you're not heating up the inside, you're cooking outside.
Mm-hmm.
You can do any kind of meat. Like I know that you and your husband like lamb a lot. That would be
We
a
do.
great time to
Mm-hmm.
do lamb.
We like
But the
lamb and pork chops as his favorite.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
that would be great for that. And then grill the vegetables to go with them. You
Mm-hmm.
guys have a great recipe that you shared with us with peppers that you put in
Mm-hmm.
vinegar. Oh
Vinegar
my
and olive
goodness.
oil and salt and stuff like that.
Oh, it's so
Mhm.
good. And
Mm-hmm.
so that would be a fun dish to have. And then you could make quiche or frittata, which is
Oh,
a something
yeah.
that you can cook and it can be served outside. Not, it doesn't have to be warm, although it's great
Mm-hmm.
warm too.
Mm-hmm. See, I
Um,
love a good quiche and I
mhm.
can make a really good frittata, but it's not my favorite. I would
My
do a quiche. I would definitely do a quiche.
my husband makes the best frittatas ever.
Yeah, I'm just not fond of a frittata.
They're heavier. I like the quiche
Yeah.
a lot as well. It's a
Well,
lighter.
quiche are also heavy,
I don't
but
know.
yeah.
I
Anyways,
mean, they can be. Yeah,
sorry to
to
anyways. Yeah.
divert the conversation. Anytime we talk about food, it's never a diversion for us.
Yeah.
Side dishes, you might consider salads, summer salads with
Hmm.
greens and maybe
Hmm.
goat cheese, a light vinaigrette,
There was
herbed. Yeah,
I'm gonna divert again. There
again.
was a salad that I had the other day, and it was one of the like really like good salads. It was very delicious. It was like a Greek salad with
Mm,
it was Caesar salad take on it. So it was like Caesar salad dressing, but it had all the toppings that you would have of a Greek salad, which are like
yum.
those amazing little olives and feta
Yes.
cheese and little
Hmm.
tomatoes and like it was amazing. It was delicious.
That would be
One of my
perfect.
favorite salads, and now I want to make it at home, and now I need to find what those olives are and
Yeah, the Greek olives,
yeah, and
probably.
invest. Yeah.
Hmm. That would be a perfect dish to serve for Letha.
Yeah, it would be.
And then herbed potatoes, grilled potatoes, if you want to do it on the grill. You can roast them with olive oil, garlic, and a blend of fresh herbs on the
Hmm.
grill.
Hmm.
And then for desserts, you could do honey cakes. You could bake those little honey cakes or muffins, which would symbolize the sweetness and abundance of the season.
Hmm.
You could have dessert berry parfait, where you layer the berries with
Yum.
whipped cream or
Hmm.
yogurt for a light,
Ooh,
refreshing dessert.
yogurt sounds good. Hmm.
And then for the drinks, of course, you could do the sun tea like you were talking about.
Hmm.
You could do fruit infused water, which is
Ooh, that's a
lovely.
good idea. Yeah,
Pre-
so refreshing.
Prepare pitchers of water that you would put lemons or cucumber, mint, that kind of thing in. Is
Hmm.
very refreshing. And then you could do light alcohol drinks because it's also, you don't want to be outside drinking these rich heavy alcoholic drinks, but
Mm-hmm.
like
You want
an
something
Aperol spritzer or a
mm-hmm.
frozen drink like
Mm-hmm.
margaritas, that would be lovely.
Refreshing. Cool.
Strawberry
Yeah.
daiquiris.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually came up with a Letha sunburst cocktail. So I'm going to
Woo.
tell you all about it here.
Yes.
So you take citrus vodka, elderflower liqueur, which we had because we were doing some other, we made some other drink with that. I
Mm-hmm.
can't
It's
remember
very
what it
good.
was.
Mm-hmm.
So we had that on hand, fresh squeezed orange juice. And I think honestly, that might be what makes this recipe is that fresh
Squeezed.
squeezed, we squeezed it all. The fresh squeezed juices, I think
Yes.
makes a huge
Hmm.
difference.
It
So
does. It
orange
does.
juice and
Hmm.
lemon juice. And then simple syrup is what they called for, but we made a honey syrup
Hmm.
to make it more Letha style
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
in our mind anyway. A splash of sparkling water, mint leaves, and then we wanted to put like edible flowers, but we really couldn't come up with them. But an idea would be like pansies or violets; those are
Hmm.
edible. And my mouth is watering again. Orange and lemon slices for garnish and ice cubes. And so what you do is you squeeze the oranges and lemons to get the juice. And if you're using a honey syrup, you're going to mix equal parts of honey and hot water until the honey dissolves and you let that cool.
Hmm.
And then you muddle the mint and a cocktail shaker, which you and your husband just got me the most adorable
It's
little
a little
tiny
tiny mini
cocktail
one.
shaker. It's so funny that the things that they think of me for. Look, it's a cocktail
It's a
shaker.
tiny
River
little
would like
cocktail
that,
shaker. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I do love it. But you put the mint leaves and you muddle the mint and you combine all the liquids, the vodka, the liqueur, the orange juices, the honey syrup, and the shaker, and you shake it with ice cubes.
Hmm.
And then you drain it. Drain it. That's not the right word. You
You strain it.
strain it. I was close,
You
close.
drain it. Yeah, you dump it down the sink.
You dump it down the sink. But so that is the Letha sunburst cocktail. So
Man, it's delicious.
my mouth is watering. And then we said, well, we need to come up with a recipe that they could do for their Letha feast.
Hmm.
So we came up with the idea of an herb crusted salmon.
Hmm.
So you get salmon fillets. It takes olive oil, garlic, which we use garlic olive oil, but also the garlic. Uh, it calls for rosemary, thyme, and dill. I do not like rosemary, so I leave the rosemary out. But
Hmm.
rosemary is supposed to be for normal people. It's a very
For quote
good,
normal people. Wow.
it's a very good accoutrement that goes with fish. So probably a normal person would like that, but I don't like that.
You're insinuating you're not normal.
I know I'm not normal. I get told that all the time. And then lemon zest and salt and pepper. And then you make vegetables to go with it, like zucchini and squash and bell pepper.
Hmm.
My mouth is watering. You can use the red, the green, and the orange bell peppers to make it really pretty.
Hmm.
A red onion, which you can slice into rings, basil, parsley, lemon, orange, and you can garnish all of this with dill sprigs or edible flowers.
Hmm.
So you make your herb mixture and you combine minced garlic, rosemary, thyme, dill, lemon zest, salt, and pepper together. You drizzle in olive oil and mix well to make this kind of paste. And then you marinate the salmon with that mixture. You rub that all over the
Hmm.
salmon until it's
Hmm.
well coated and you let it sit for at least 15 minutes. And that allows the flavors to infuse. And I'm so sorry, my mouth is just
We
really
are
watering.
100% chefs today. We
We
are
are.
both Chef River and Chef Ren.
But for the vegetables, you go ahead and mix the squash, the peppers, the red onion with olive oil as well, and the herbs, the basil, the parsley, salt, and pepper. And you arrange the citrus slices on a large grill safe tray, which we love the idea of grilling these things.
Hmm.
So you preheat your grill or use, if you do charcoal or whatever, get your grill ready and you put the fillets skin side down on the grill and you grill the salmon for about 4 to 6 minutes per side. Some people like their salmon really well done. To me, it gets dried out if you do that. But you want to have those nice little grill marks on them that are so cute.
Hmm.
And then at the same time, you're grilling your vegetables and the citrus slices until they're done. So you put all this together on a platter, and it's just, it sounds absolutely lovely. But for an extra magical touch, you might do a crystal infusion. So, like, place a cleansed and charged citrine or sunstone near your cooking area while you're doing all of this stuff. And that'll help infuse your dish with a positive solar energy in the
Hmm.
spirit of
Oh
Litha.
yeah, definitely.
You can do an herbal blessing where you prepare the herbs as you're preparing them. You take a moment to bless them, thank them, chant over them, however it is that you get your intention into your food. You do that and you think about the health, abundance, and the joy that there is on this longest day during Litha season. And then for seasonal variations, you can do different vegetables from your garden or local market, like asparagus is a great one for Letha, and artichokes and that kind of thing.
Hmm. I
So
mean, I love a good food preparation, and that was
me
that was a
too.
little bit more extensive than what we've talked about and what to do for a Sabbath.
Hmm.
But
I
we
know I
were
got
super
excited
excited.
there.
Yeah, we were. And I love it. I love it so much. I mean,
Me too.
any time that I can talk about food, I'm definitely going to talk about food.
Me
Um,
too.
but you can also do fun activities at your feast as well. Like maybe your focal point isn't the feast. So let's talk about activities, right?
Okay. Okay.
So part of your feast, you can bless the feast, like how you were saying, to
Hmm.
honor and all of that, and light a candle and invite guests to join hands in your circle, and
Hmm.
then offer a short chant expressing gratitude.
Hmm.
But you can also go on a nature walk if you're near a natural area, or take a short drive to a park or whatever,
Hmm.
and take
Hmm.
a short walk with your guests before the meal, after the meal, whatever it may be. You can collect flowers, leaves, and stones to bring back and decorate if you haven't yet had your meal.
That's a
um
nice idea.
but then I also like, if you've already had your meal, then you are honoring, like you are taking the energy that you've had from your food and honoring the world around you, and collecting these leaves and flowers and stones and honoring, and you can place it somewhere and honor,
Hmm.
the abundance and everything,
That's true.
from nature, I guess I should say.
Hmm.
And then another fun idea would be to do a scavenger hunt. You love scavenger hunts,
I do.
where you can take pictures of items so that you aren't, maybe disturbing the ecosystem. So
Hmm.
maybe you have a list of things like go and find a four-leaf clover, and you
Yeah.
go and take a picture of it. Instead of
Hmm.
pulling it, you have that in
I
your
like that
forest
idea.
instead, or
That's
whatever.
fun. Yeah.
Hmm. And then you can then put these pictures, let's say you have pictures, you can put them in your Letha journal that we
Oh
were talking about
yeah.
before, or
Yeah.
in your book of shadows, whatever it may be that you use.
Hmm.
You can again craft flower crowns. I love those
Oh
things.
yes.
I put it
That
in
is
here
a
twice.
fun
That's how much I love those.
That's a fun
Um,
activity to
hmm.
do, though.
And that would be something you could do before a feast, or maybe feast isn't your thing and you want to do more creative things. Double making of flower crowns.
Hmm. For sure, for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've got a story that, speaking of flower crowns, that
Again.
I know. Well, we love the flower crowns, but this one was kind of funny.
Hmm.
They decided to make flower crowns at their party, and so they spent hours going about and collecting wildflowers. There was dandelions and all kinds of things that are out now at the season, and they wove them into these intricate crowns, and they were really proud, so they were wearing them. But they discovered that some of these flowers were really the bees loved them. And so
Oh
they ended
no.
up with bees all around them. So
Hmm.
they were like dancing around, and not in a good way, trying to
Uh-huh.
get rid of the bees. So that what they ended up doing was they hung their bees, I mean, their crowns
Their
on
crowns.
trees nearby, and then they could still enjoy the crowns, but the bees left them alone. But yeah, so
Yeah.
be
Well, I mean
aware.
that's a way to, like, you use what nature's given you and then you give it back in a
Hmm.
way. And then again, it's biodegradable and it goes back and
Yeah.
gives the planet nurtured um what am I trying to say? Gives the planet back the nutrients that it
That's
had
true.
before.
And the bees seem to like it.
Yeah. No, I think the flower crown would be the first thing to come off my head if one bee in sight. I cannot get stung. I'm terrified.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then you can also do storytelling and song singing, song sharing.
Hmm.
You can share myths and stories or poems related to the summer solstice.
That's
You can
fun.
encourage your guests to share their own experiences and their favorite summer memories. Singing
That would be fun.
songs,
Hmm.
absolutely. Singing songs or chanting around the table can also enhance your atmosphere, your magical atmosphere.
Hmm.
Um, but I do get the vibe where if you're just sitting there chanting, somebody might think that's a
Weird.
bizarre. hmm
Especially if you've got neighbors close by. They're, what are
hmm
these people doing out
I
there
mean, it would be
chanting?
you do you, but it would be funny somebody walking by not knowing what was going on, going, something's going on. It would be funny.
Hmm.
And then you do a sunset ritual, like how I said sunrise,
Hmm.
not ritual,
Meditation.
meditation.
Hmm.
You can do a sunset ritual. So as the sun begins to set, you can gather your guests for the sunset and express gratitude for the sunlight of the day and the abundance that it brought. And then you can light candles or lanterns to symbolize the sun's energy and the continuing light within each other.
I like that idea.
Mhm. And then you can also do a closing feast if you had a feast, which I recommend having a feast. They're fun. Um, so before concluding the feast, you can invite your guests to share what they're grateful for or their intentions for the coming season. The practice creates a sense of community and positive energy, which
Hmm.
I'm all for the positive energy. And
Hmm.
then you can do a cleansing and offering. So, as maybe your guests are leaving and you're closing out this celebration, you might want to cleanse your space of whatever it may
That's
be,
true.
lingering energy, anything like
Hmm.
that. So, you can cleanse it by burning sage or incense, which I do more incense than
Hmm.
sage.
Hmm.
And then offer any leftover food to the earth as a token of thanks, or you like composting it to
That's true.
continue the cycle of nature. Now, I will say if you have any leftovers, like good leftovers, like potentially untouched, anything's untouched and stuff, I would love to donate that in any way, shape, or
Hmm.
form that I could. And then
Hmm.
whatever is used leftovers, obviously give it to the earth.
Hmm. For sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I wanted to come up with some unusual ways to celebrate Letha because so I was
Mhm.
like, well, what would be something really different this year to celebrate Letha?
Okay.
So a sunset sound bath would be fun, right?
Oh, okay.
So invite friends to a sunset sound bath. Wow, say that 10 times fast. In a natural setting, and you can use crystal singing bowls, gongs, chimes, or whatever other healing instruments that you want to create a soothing and immersive experience. And the vibrations from, like, I love a good sound bowl, the singing bowls,
Mhm.
can help align your energies, and you can promote deep relaxation, spiritual connection, gratitude to the this time of year.
Mhm.
You can do solar art creations, which I did this with my kids one year. There's some special paper. Well, there's several ways to do this. I got them
Mhm.
some special paper and I had them go out. This was one summer, and I had them go out and pick things that were odd shaped, like different leaves or rocks. And you put them on this paper and put it out in the sun, and the paper around these objects turns color, and then it leaves the impression on the paper of the leaves and that kind of thing. And they just
Mhm.
thought that was the greatest thing.
It's interesting.
Hmm. You can also just do create art out of nature things. So, like, collect leaves and flowers and stones and uh,
Mhm.
make
Mhm.
mandalas out of them. Or, those cute little, you always see the pictures of what meditation is with the rocks that you place on
Yeah,
top of each
yeah.
other.
Mhm.
You could do that. You could try painting outside, paint rock painting outside. Um,
Mhm.
Although
Mhm.
that does tend to alter the natural into the unnatural, but it is a creative thing that you can do.
Mhm.
Nature themed artwork. Another weird, another different thing that you can
Different.
do. is sky gazing and astronomy. So combine the celebration as it goes from this longest day and have them stay after the sun sets and have telescopes set up or
That would
just,
be fun.
yeah, lie out on blankets and watch the sky transition from sunset to twilight and as
Hmm.
the stars come out. And learn about constellations and planets. And, there's apps that are really cool that you can
Oh
say,
yeah, definitely.
point it up at the sky and say, oh, that's Mars or that's, whatever.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
would be a fun Letha activity. Solar energy projects. You can harness the power of the sun and build a simple solar oven and use it to bake cookies or dehydrate fruits or something. This
Oh,
is
but
out,
make sure
out
it
of,
reaches the temperature it needs to for
yes,
safe consumption.
yes, it's out of my wheelhouse to even know how to do that, but that would
Hmm.
be something you can Google how to do that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's a practical activity that not only celebrates the sun, but it's going to make you more eco-conscious
Oh
as
yeah.
you've
Hmm.
done that.
Hmm.
You can do fire dancing and flow arts.
Of course,
So
you
it would
would.
be so fun.
Hmm.
So those who are inclined towards movement and performance, you can incorporate fire dancing or the uh, staff or hoops or what is the scarves? They're not really scarves. The gymnasts that dance around in the Summer Olympics with the
Yeah, but I don't know what they're
scarves
called. I
like
know they're
thing.
not scarves, but
Yeah, that's not the right word, but that
yeah.
kind of thing would be a lot of fun to do. Um, and that would help like visualize the energy of the sun, I think. And it would
Hmm.
be so much fun. And
Hmm.
if you got little kids, they're going to love this. If
Oh
you have a
yeah.
bonfire outside, they'll be out there doing their little scarves and having a great time. So
Uh-huh.
that would be a very fun thing to do to celebrate Letha and help bring that to your children as well. You can do yoga. You were talking about meditation at sunrise and sunset, but you could
Hmm.
also do that sun yoga out in the
Hmm.
sunshine.
I would be sweating
Um,
up a storm in the sun.
yeah,
That
yeah. You can make a Midsummer Night's Fairy Garden. That would be fun. I think kids
would
would
be
like
fun.
this
Hmm.
too. Create a
Hmm.
whimsical fairy garden in your yard. Use miniature plants and little figurines and stuff. That would be so much fun. It's a great thing to do on a lazy Saturday afternoon if, outside. You can, if you have access to a body of water, then you might want to go at sunrise or sunset and go maybe kayaking or canoeing.
Oh, that
And
would be fun.
yeah, that would not only enjoy the magic of the day, but also bring that water
That water
concept
element. Yeah.
mhm, into it. You can do an herbal alchemy workshop. We're talking about making all these teas. Have friends over and make sun teas together, and then
Hmm.
sample each other's sun
Hmm.
teas, and have, of course, some food too.
Yeah, always.
You can have a digital detox day. I thought this was an interesting idea where it's all about the sun and this time of light and the energy. Keep yourself away from your phone, from your computer, just be completely unplugged outside in nature doing creative things.
I like that idea.
It's a great way to reconnect with humans,
Yeah.
your people in your family and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So those are all my weird different ideas for Letha. I think
Yeah.
that's
I
all
mean,
all we've got.
yeah, there's definitely more. But I feel like we really hit on like the colors that are represented and the crystals and herbs that you can use and how you can celebrate. That's really our
Hmm.
main getaway at doing these is like we always, well, I guess I can't speak for you, but I always struggled in a way to bring everything together on that day and
Hmm.
celebrate. And so sitting down and doing these, I'm like, okay, like that's pretty cool. And up leading up, I'll use these colors and I'll incorporate these herbs in my food and or drinks and this is the type of food that I want to prepare and just how I can honor and celebrate that day versus oh God, what am I supposed to do? And
Hmm.
then I completely forget about the honoring part and what it's actually about and being
Hmm.
outside on Litha. I'm talking about specifically on
Hmm.
this day and just feeling the sun and embracing nature around me instead of just being like worried about what am I going to cook? what the heck?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to make my flower crown before then, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
definitely the whole point of a Sabbath is not to stress out about it.
uh-huh,
It's
uh-huh.
to celebrate the passing of time, the nature that's there, the brightness of at least Litha is the brightness of the sun. So yeah, don't stress about it. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to have a very complex, wonderful party, that would be great. And
Mm-hmm.
if you want to just go out and lay out under the sun and
And take a
enjoy
stroll
the
in the
day,
park.
yeah,
Yeah.
then that's fine too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, so again, these are all suggestions too. Do what you
Hmm.
want. If none of these resonated with you, then don't do it. If all
Yeah,
of it resonated with you, I'm happy.
then
Fantastic.
don't overkill.
Absolutely.
Relax.
Yeah.
But we will be back.
We'll be back.
And until then, stay witchy.
Woo.